All right, let's dive right in. We're about to unpack some really powerful truths, the kind that can completely dismantle a reality you might have accepted for way too long. So if you've ever felt stuck, I mean really stuck, think of this as your blueprint for finally breaking free.
This just frames the problem perfectly, doesn't it? So often, we're looking for something outside of ourselves to blame for our unhappiness. But the truth is, a lot of our confinement, it's self-imposed. We're the ones holding the hammer, building the walls of that cage with our own doubts, our inaction, and the opinions we let matter way too much. You know that feeling of frustration? That deep down sense that you're meant for more? That's not just a bad mood, that's a sign. You're at a critical turning point. The part of you that used to settle for less, that accepted the crumbs, it's fading away. It's making room for a version of you that demands what you're actually worth. This isn't an ending, it's the beginning of a huge shift.
So our first big idea here is all about reclaiming your power as the master builder of your own life. It's about learning to trust your own instincts, your own vision, above all the noise from the outside world.
This is so crucial. Think about it. You're designing and building your life every single day. Now, would you let someone who's never even picked up a hammer design your house? No way, right? So why do we let people who don't share our values or our vision dictate our life choices? They just offer opinions, but you're the one who has to live with the results. They don't have to feel the draft when the walls aren't sound. We're taught to fear things falling apart, to see it as a total failure. But what if it's not? What if a breakdown is actually a breakthrough? Sometimes it's just this necessary, even beautiful, shedding of an old skin to make room for something stronger, something that's way more aligned with who you're actually becoming.
And you know, a huge part of building a strong life is having the clarity to manage your relationships. Not everyone deserves the same level of access to you. The most trusted people, they get a seat at your inner table. Others are perfectly fine to admire from the garden. And some, well, for your own protection, they have to stay outside the gate entirely. And that's not being harsh, it's being smart. It's necessary.
This brings us right to the people you surround yourself with. Seriously, curating your inner circle is one of the most critical things you will ever do, because those people, they determine so much of where you're headed.
Now this is a short sentence with some serious weight to it. You have to stop confusing the people who are always around you with the people who are always there for you. Someone can be physically in the same room every day but be emotionally checked out when it really counts. Loyalty is about action and support, not just location.
So let's really think about that. The people around you could be colleagues, acquaintances, maybe even family who are just kind of there. But the people there for you, they're the ones who show up in a crisis, who are genuinely happy for your wins, and who actually want the best for you. Can you tell the difference in your own life? It's a game changer when you can.
Okay, this is a hard truth, but it's absolutely essential for protecting your own energy. You can offer a hand, but you can't force someone to grab it. Some people, honestly, they're not looking for a lifeline. They're looking for company in their misery. And if you try to save them, you're just going to get pulled down with them.
And now we get to the core engine of change. I mean, nothing we've talked about matters without this piece, taking action, especially when it feels uncomfortable. This is where your future is actually built.
Every single day we face this choice. Comfort feels safe, right? But it's a trap. It leads to stagnation and regret. Growth, well, growth is uncomfortable. It's uncertain, but it's the only path to becoming more. And that quote says all. Choosing comfort over growth really is a slow-motion suicide of the soul. It's a quiet betrayal of your own potential.
Let's talk about the economy of your time for a second. Yeah, your 9 to 5, it keeps the lights on. That's important. But the hours after that, that 5 p.m. to midnight slot, that's your time. That's the fertile ground where you plant the seeds of your future, your side hustle, your learning, your legacy. This is just cause and effect in its purest form. Where you are right now is not an accident. It's the direct result of all the small daily choices you made over the last year. So, if you want a different reality a year from now, you have to start making different, probably uncomfortable, choices today.
So, as you start taking that uncomfortable action, you have to remember this. If the path feels way too easy, you're probably just going in circles. Real progress, any journey worth taking, is filled with challenges. Obstacles aren't a sign you're on the wrong path. They're proof that you're actually moving forward.
Okay, so that brings us to the end. We've talked about trusting yourself, your inner circle, and why action is everything. Now, it all boils down to a decision. It's time to think about what you're going to do with all of this. Let's just get one thing straight. You're going to fail. I fail, we all do. But failure isn't the end of the story. It's the instruction manual. It's how you learn the lessons you refuse to learn any other way. It's the rule book, not the exception.
And this is such a message of hope. Whatever you're going through right now, whatever mistakes you've made, that's just one chapter. It doesn't get to define the entire story of your life. You always have the power to turn the page.
You know that feeling, that moment of absolute exhaustion where you think, I can't take one more step. That is the critical point. That is the moment where progress is made. Pushing through that feeling, that's what separates the life you have from the life you want.
So that feeling of dissatisfaction you might have, that's not a weakness. It's actually your greatest strength. It's the signal that you're ready for change. It isn't a sign that you failed, it's the starting gun for your next great chapter.
So the final question is for you, and I want you to be really honest with yourself. Where are you right now? Are you at A, ready to embrace the journey, no matter what it takes? Or maybe you're at B, still trying to find the strength to begin. There's no wrong answer here, but knowing where you stand, that's the first real step to getting where you want to go.